Hello and welcome to the LifeWorks podcast. I am your host, Mark Botros. In this episode, I want to talk about why I want a divorce from perfection. High achievers have high standards and high expectations of themselves and others. Often, those standards are so high that they resemble perfection. We perfectionists think perfection is actually attainable. Yet we vaguely define what perfection is, and what's more, is that the criteria for perfection changes from moment to moment and person to person. Do we ever really attain perfection? Even when something is perfect, we can always think of something to improve upon it. If I were to give perfection a personal definition, I would say it is the state where all of our expectations are met exactly the way we expect them and even beyond. Except, when does that ever truly happen? I think that we perfectionists need to let go of the concept that perfection is actually possible and accept the fact that we live in an imperfect world among imperfect people, and that perfection is a concept that actually deceives and eludes us. I have come to find that perfection has many drawbacks. I have quite literally been crippled for years by my own sense of perfection, so much so that it has kept me from living the fullest expression of my own life. I realize that perfection is actually my enemy. Here are 5 reasons why I decided that I should let go of perfection and run straight into the arms of imperfection. 1. Perfection is the enemy of starting and finishing. Perfection tells you that if you can't get it perfect, then you shouldn't do it at all, because it must be perfect. Perfection is also the enemy of completion. Perfection says, if you are in the middle of a project, that the end of the product must be perfect. So as you constantly aim for perfection, you are never truly done, because perfection is never satisfied. 2. Perfection is the enemy of decision. Perfection causes us to be in a state of analysis paralysis. Perfection causes us to fear every decision that we make because perfection wants us to make the perfect decision, and there is no truly perfect decision. Every decision we make is filled with risk and closes off other options. Perfection wants us to keep a back door, just in case the decision we make is bad, so it's difficult to fully commit to a decision. And when you are lukewarm about a decision, you don't reap the rewards, including the mistakes and the lessons, of a full commitment. 3. Perfection places high demands and expectations on our relationships. High-achieving parents have high expectations of their children and often expect some form of perfection from them. If those high expectations are not tempered with incredible amounts of love, grace, and understanding, over time this can create children that are resentful of their parents because of unachievable standards. Children become critical of their parents because they are simply modeling them. High-achieving bosses can experience a similar fate with their employees. Hard-driving, high-expectations bosses can only accomplish so much for so long. Unless the boss can find and tap into the internal motivation of people and temper high quality and high achievement with balance, rest, and team building, then the boss will burn out and lose those people to better bosses and quote-unquote better opportunities. 4. Perfection is relative. Your idea of perfection is different from mine. Logically, by its very nature, perfection is unachievable because the standard and criteria is different from person to person. What you think is perfect, I may think is good, but needs considerably more work to become perfect. 5. Imperfection is far more forgiving than perfection. Imperfection allows you to get started, to finish, to make decisions, to make mistakes, learn your lessons, and move on. Imperfection allows you to have more fun, enjoy the process, and have more grace with people, whether they are in your family or in your business. Perfection is like an emotionally abusive spouse that at first is so attractive and promises so much, but later places impossible, ever-shifting, never-to-be-satisfied standards on you. Meanwhile, imperfection adores you just the way you are. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we should not have high standards or any standards at all. That's what makes us who we are. And there is a place for quality, high expectations, and standards. What I'm saying is that perfection has downsides that we need to have eyes wide open about and acknowledge those downsides so that we are not chronically disappointed in ourselves or others. So start that project without a perfect project plan. Develop that product without knowing every detail. Finish and submit that document and know that you and others will always find something to change in it. Make that decision and go for it. If it doesn't work out, you learned something in the process. And hey, this one's for me. Let your kids be kids. Let them have their messes and their mistakes. Correct them, but also share your mistakes with them and show them how real human beings get up and go forward. How about you? Do you agree? Is perfection an abusive spouse? Or is there still some good in her? Set me straight, or are you looking to join the perfection support group too? If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe or sign up for my free updates at my website at markabotros.com, and you'll never miss a post or an episode. And if you think that someone will benefit from this, please share with them. Please comment on it in social media and or connect with me personally. I would love to hear from you.